Hey guys, Brent from CTS here. So today I'm just doing a quick video on the best sources of starchy carbohydrates. So with our starchy carbs, what are the benefits of these? So generally the ones we're going to recommend are going to be lower GI, they're going to be more satisfying, and they have no sugar. So what does that mean? So lower GI just means a lower glycemic index. So it doesn't raise blood sugar as much as a higher GI carbohydrate. Satisfying just meaning they're going to fill us up and keep us from not being hungry for a bit longer, and no sugar. Well, that's a differentiating factor of starchy carbs. So obviously sugars are, I guess, a different class of carbohydrates to starchy carbs. Doesn't mean all sugars are bad, but in this video we're just talking about starchy carbs, which should be the main component of your carbohydrate intake. So when we're looking at the sources over here, so the best sources, so you can see here we don't have things like flour or pasta or cereals. So they are starchy carbs as well, but they are much higher GI, and also they tend to be made from wheat. So they're not as good as fat loss as these other types, and also that includes breads too. So yeah, they are starchy carbs, but they're not as good as the ones that we've got listed here. So from here we've got them listed from roughly from lower GI to higher GI. So at the top we've got pumpkin. So pumpkin, is very low density of carbs. So it only has about 10 to 15 grams of carbohydrates per 100 grams of pumpkin. So that's very low GI, and it's great for fat loss. But if you want to get in a lot of carbs, it's not a very good option because you just have to eat too much of it to get any decent amount of carbs. And then working our way down the list, we've got sweet potato, which contains a little bit more, and that's going to be a staple for a lot of people. It's a good mix between the amount of carbs it has, and it's also the GI, and it's got a whole bunch of other great nutrients in there as well. We've got quinoa. So quinoa is really good because it has a high protein content. So you can actually get quite a lot of protein from quinoa. Obviously, you still want to have those animal proteins in there. There's different sorts of meats and eggs. But as far as a plant source of protein, quinoa is one of the highest. Then we've got our brown rice and basmati rice. So we put those two together because they're a similar GI. So between different rices, there can actually be quite a different amount of the amount of carbohydrates that are in there. So for example, a lot of brown rices and basmati rices have about 30 to 35 grams of carbohydrates per 100 grams of cooked rice. So if you had 100 grams of basmati rice, 35 of that is going to be carbs. Whereas some jasmine rices are much higher than that. They can be 40, 50 or 60 grams of carbs per 100. So you've got two white rices, like basmati is a white rice. So you've got basmati rice and jasmine rice, both white rices, both look basically the same, but they can nearly have double the amount of carbohydrates in it. So that's why you've got to know the type you're having and make sure you're getting the right type for your goals. And then we've got white potato and oats lastly. They're high GI and tend to contain more carbs, per 100 grams. So these are sources. Being high GI, they're going to be better for, say, post-workout, and if you're just trying to get in more carbs throughout the day. So if you're training quite a lot or you're already pretty lean, you're going to tend to have more of these. So yeah, quite a few different sources there. Like I said, we want to try and avoid the pastas and the breads. If you have them every now and then, it's obviously not a problem. But these give better results basically than those ones. So yeah, guys, make sure, and also you should discuss with your coach as well how many meals. So the amount of carbs that each person's going to need is going to be different. So some people might be on 4 carb meals a day, or meals with some sort of carbohydrates in them, and some people want to be 1 on 2, and that's very individual. So have a chat. If you can't remember from a nutrition consult, have a chat with your coach about how much carbs you should be having. Thanks, guys.